I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to be here with you. I'm Tim Pham. Let's get over to Nicole Hernandez filling in for meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center this morning. And Nicole, it is going to be a hot one today, and it sounds like it's just going to keep climbing in the next couple of days.
Oh yeah, hot and more hot. We are officially in the thick of summer temperatures, and that's just really what we have to talk about today. Taking a look over Spokane, I want to point out the pavilion's lit up nice and beautiful. It's got like purple and green colors. I like it. I don't know why, but I think we should ask because I think that's beautiful. Okay, covering it up now. For now, we're at 64 degrees here in Spokane. Across our entire region, kind of everywhere, 70 already in Wenatchee, 59 in Moses Lake, 64 in Spokane, 61 in Coeur d'Alene, and 50 degrees in Sandpoint. Over the course of the day, we are going to be warming up pretty significantly, starting in the 60s this morning, up to the low 90s for your afternoon. And you can see mostly sunshine and sunshine, just a tiny bit of partial cloud cover coming through. And that's what we're seeing on our radar. Pretty clear for now, but then when we look forward, we see that partial cloud cover kind of move in and out, mostly leaving us with sunny skies for the bulk of the day across our entire region. We are tracking, though, some dry lightning and a little bit of moisture in the North Idaho Panhandle for our tomorrow morning, so keep a lookout for that. Really just going to be the Sandpoint area that's going to see some of those scattered showers, but across our region mostly is what we're tracking is dry lightning, which of course can cause some fire concern this time of year with our dry, hot temperatures.
New overnight, Washington state troopers say they've arrested the suspected gunman in a deadly road rage shooting that happened on I-90 last Friday night. Washington State Patrol arrested 28-year-old Trevin Lewis. He's charged with second-degree murder in the death of 34-year-old David Knofle. Police say Knofle was heading eastbound on I-90 near the Thor Freya exit when he was shot in the back. Now, police booked Lewis into the Spokane County Jail last night. In 2014, Lewis was convicted of manslaughter after killing Frank Mata, a veteran who tried breaking up a house party. This is actual video from that arraignment from that trial. Lewis had been sentenced to 10 years in prison but was released early. Because he is a felon, Lewis is also not allowed to have a gun. He's being held on $1 million bond.
And the medical provider for the Spokane County Jail will pay out $24.6 million for the 2018 death of a woman in the jail. Now, a key part of this case, more than 6 hours of surveillance video that was lost. 55-year-old Cindy Lou Hill was booked into the jail in August of 2018 for drug possession. Hill allegedly told the nurse in the jail that she was a heroin user and in withdrawal. The nurse ordered guards to check on her every 30 minutes after transferring her to the medical wing. Court records show a camera close to Hill's cell recorded her transfer at 9:10 a.m. The next video clip from the jail was recorded at 4 p.m. The county had no explanation for that gap. Hill died of a bacterial infection caused by a ruptured liver. The judge found the county was liable for violating Hill's constitutional rights and for negligence. The money will go towards Hill's estate. A new report is giving more insight into crime in Washington state. The Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs released the Crime in Washington report from 2021. The report shows there were 325 murders last year. This is actually an increase of nearly 6% from 2020. Violent crime overall increased more than 12%. Robbery increased 10%, and aggravated assaults increased more than 15%. Drug arrest and fraud incidents are down significantly. In fact, the report shows a more than 60% drop in drug offenses, and as a result, 73% fewer drug arrests. One of the other big findings, there were 495 fewer officers across the state in 2021 compared to 2020. So the report found that it is the lowest per capita rate of officers to residents we've seen since the data tracking began back in 1980. It also says it's the lowest ratio in the country. The House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol will return to primetime this evening.
Now, it's the last scheduled hearing of the summer, and committee members say that the focus will be on what President Trump was doing as the group stormed through the Capitol building. The committee says Trump had 187 minutes to call off the protesters during the attacks. Now, we expect to hear testimony from Matthew Pointinger and Sarah Matthews. Both are former Trump White House aides who resigned after the attacks. The committee will also ask about the deleted text messages from Secret Service. Now, CBS will be carrying the Capitol assault hearing live tonight from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on KRIM 2. And then we'll have a special hour-long edition of the KRIM 2 News immediately after that hearing wraps up.
It is 6:06. It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time. Increasing COVID cases are bringing back a mask mandate at Fairchild Air Force Base. Masks are now once again required on base. Masks must be worn by everyone, regardless of vaccination status. The mask requirement is in place until further notice. Well, city leaders in Harrington, Washington are asking residents to preserve water and stop any non-essential water use. This is because of a water leak on a railroad track that goes through downtown. People who live east and southeast of the railroad tracks are being asked to preserve water. And happening today, Shakespeare in the Park is back. You can catch the Spokane Shakespeare Society in Romeo and Juliet at Riverfront Park. Shakespeare's most famous play follows the story of two young lovers and feuding families. The show runs through this weekend and next weekend. It starts at 6:30 p.m. and while admission is free, donations are strongly encouraged. And that's a look at your morning rush.